Hi there, this is Carolyn Pitts. I'm an ACE certified health coach, intuitive energy healer, and every week I post videos with health and wellness tips to help you be your best self. In last week's video, I read from my book, Chapter 8, The Power of Perceptions. If you missed that video, you might want to go watch that first and then come back and watch this video, because in this video we're just going to pick up reading where we left off. And before we jump in, I'll mention that this particular content was requested by a member of my Intention Circle. If you would like to join the Intention Circle, you can go to intendwell.us and enter your email address. Every week you'll receive bonus content in a short, sweet newsletter that I send out every Friday. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to pick up from where I left off. So the last thing I read was all about bonk them before they bonk you. Recall from chapter 2 that our brain pulls the fire alarm when it detects danger. Our eyes stop scanning and become laser focused on the perceived threat, much as Lucy did when she heard the rustle in the grass. As heart rate increases, a host of chemicals, including glucose, insulin, and cortisol, flood our bloodstream. The body hits the pause button on digestion, immune system functioning, and cellular growth and repair. With fear, the predominant emotion, the body focuses on defending itself, while the rational prefrontal cortex switches to standby. Although slower, our prefrontal cortex is no slacker. Catching up to our Lucy brain, it exclaims, "Wait, I thought of something you did not consider in your rush to judgment." But that only happens if the alarm bells have stopped ringing. Our autonomic nervous system has to be in parasympathetic, or rest, digest, and heal mode for the forebrain to be fully functional. This is why it is critical to practice belly breathing and the other techniques you are learning in this book. We can train our body to revert to parasympathetic mode when appropriate, providing an extra beat to consider whether head bonking is indeed the best response. This is not to imply that primitive, reflex-oriented Lucy brain is inferior. After all, our survival instinct helps us to, survive. This section is called, Why Do You Think What You Think? Picture me as a small child, climbing up to the dinner table, surveying each dish in turn. As soon as I identify boiled Brussels sprouts, my little child brain interprets danger. In my childhood home, I was expected to eat everything that Mom put on my plate. Years later, I was enjoying dinner with my book club when someone at the table insisted that we order enough roasted Brussels sprouts appetizers for everyone. When the order arrived, she insisted that everyone try them. Okay, even as an adult, peer pressure is a thing. I spooned out the smallest possible serving and clutched my water glass. Well, you know what happened. Roasted Brussels sprouts are a standard appetizer on menus everywhere because they are delicious. What happens after we calm down enough to re-engage the prefrontal cortex is a highly individualized and emotional activity, shaped by the interweavings of our beliefs, values, social conditioning, sense of self, and especially our unique past experiences. A belief is our interpretation of what a past experience meant. Beliefs do not require facts or external validation. It is our personal truth because it happened to us. I believed that Brussels sprouts tasted terrible because my mom served them boiled. Ugh. But beliefs can change when we are receptive to new encounters. Values. Our values are shaped by our beliefs. which means that values can change as our beliefs evolve. Someone who achieves a prosperous lifestyle after laboring long hours for many years values hard work because they believe that hard work pays off. But that is not a universal perspective. Someone who struggles financially despite working hard all their life has different beliefs and values because their experience is different. Social conditioning are the expectations of our tribe concerning dress, food, individual behavior, and relationships with others. Talking during a movie, for example, violates my expectations of acceptable behavior, but plenty of people do it. Once, a friend commented to me that there are certain outfits that look ridiculous on older women. A 2004 study out of the UK concluded that patients are more likely to trust a doctor wearing a white lab coat. Our sense of self is our perception of the characteristics that define us. Are you comfortable with how you see yourself? Or do you have a list of things you want to change? Research from 2022 revealed that we are more likely to judge other people's bodies if we are dissatisfied with our own. If you wish your stomach was flat, you may feel critical of people with poochy bellies. And especially past experience. Our life experiences are particularly powerful in shaping our perceptions. Even childhood memories buried deep in our subconscious. Many of the over 70 million pet dogs in America are considered members of the family. Some dog owners throw birthday parties replete with cake and pointy hats. But 1 in 9 Americans suffer from cynophobia, which is an overwhelming fear of dogs, arising from a frightening encounter with a canine, usually during childhood. The fear persists even if they do not consciously recall the experience. Children growing up in the same household have different recollections from childhood, just as Janet and I have different perceptions of our lunch together. My brother has pet snakes. But I cannot imagine intentionally inviting a snake into my house. This may be the result of my mother's reaction when a barefoot 5-year-old me nearly stepped on a copperhead in our backyard. How we perceive our world is how it is. Our rational prefrontal cortex is not as logical as we would like to imagine. Our beautifully unique truth is subject to change. If Janet wants to move past her tendency to judge, she could start by exploring her beliefs, social conditioning, and sense of self upon which they are based. Our beautiful prefrontal cortex is self-aware. It can think about its thinking. With an air of curiosity, we can ask ourselves, why do I disapprove of what I disapprove of? Why do I fear what I fear? Why do I think that I think what I think? When we understand the source of our perceptions, isn't it curious that throughout history, humans have been willing to demonize, or worse, anyone who didn't see the world their way? As we learned in Chapter 5, journaling is a wonderful tool to explore what these aspects of our psyche teach us about ourselves. Then we can use the neuroplasticity of our brain to abandon beliefs that no longer serve us and find new truths. Okay, I'm going to pause there for today so the video is not so long, and we will pick up next week with a section called Through the Eyes of a Cat. Come back and join me. Have a beautiful week. Intend peace, intend love, intend well.